For instance, did you know that E.T.'s species exists in the Star Wars universe?
Oh, well, what?
There's a scene in, like, the Galactic Senate where you can find them in their own little place. So they are an actual species from the Star Wars universe, which means that E.T. the Extraterrestrial takes place in the Star Wars universe.
And since it takes place in our universe as well, that means that Star Wars takes place in our... Oh my god, mind blown! No, I just... People, don't take your canon that seriously, please. Then we end up with these terrible situations where there's Star Wars Christmas. There. Okay, so...
It was like classical, like, 80s, 90s special effects as well. So the Chewies are all in, like, horrific rubber plastic makeup.
Oh god.
Like, Chewie was passable, because he was the only, like, Wookiee on screen, but an entire family doesn't work. And then they made Grievous, and Grievous was kind of cool, but...
So, you know,
well.
not to completely derail things, but I think I just heard the doorbell, because, for anyone who, like, doesn't watch my streams...
You're kidding.
For anyone who doesn't watch my streams, my
up?
internet service provider has been a piece of trash lately. And, like, my connection will just completely tank out. It's like I'm supposed to get 30 up, and I can't even get, like, 3 up. Whenever it completely tanks, it'll be like, oh, maybe you can get 1 at best, but even then it's gonna be like, on, off, on, off, on, off for the data transmission. So, like, I'm struggling with the ISP, and I ended up getting escalated up to, like, a supervisor or something. They were like, it has to be your modem. It has to be your modem. It's not my modem. Hint. You know, spoiler alert, it's not my modem. I know better. There's a certain amount of just, like, disrespect that they have for my intelligence. But...
Yeah, well, they're customer service employees, so they basically assume all humans are idiots.
So,
they're usually right.
Like, I was supposed... Like, I was so fed up that I was basically playing along, and I was, like, saying, okay, fine, I will actually let, you know, you replace my modem, despite the fact that it's like, no, I bought this piece of equipment less than a year ago. Less than a year ago. It's not broken. So there was a tech who was supposed to come out literally just to put in one of their modems, and they weren't going to charge me for any of this crap, okay? And... I'm pretty sure...
Losing your train of thought there?
I'm a little bit wound up over this whole entire freaking mess because it's ridiculous what I'm putting up with. But he's supposed to come over and just install a modem today, and it's like, okay, he'll be there from 8 to 10. The doorbell just went off.
That's an uncharacteristically short window.
Yeah, 8 to 10. It is now 11:54, and the doorbell just went off. Okay? Good job hitting your freaking window there, you know? Good job. So it's like, I made the decision, like, just before we started recording here. I was like, oh, crap, there's a phone call. I better get this. It's probably going to be the guy saying, hey, I'm coming. And I've got to reply and say, no, you're not coming. But I missed the call.
So of course he came anyways.
So that's probably him out at the door, and he's just like, why is nobody answering the door? And it's like, well, it's because you're 2 fucking hours late, you idiot. So...
See, I'm trying to express sympathy here, but I'm just remembering how my 2016 started.
Yeah, you had your own entire frickin' mess with,
I had a mess so, like, dramatic that my fan base gave it a name.
What? Your fan base? Okay. Tell me more.
They named it The Sitch, because that was the name I put on the like, the updates of, hey, I haven't been online in months. Here's why. And... basically, what happened was we moved into a nice, lovely new apartment, and I don't know how no one noticed this before, like, we signed the papers, but there were no phone lines whatsoever in this property, because they got renovated and it was ripped out.
So, what the how do you renovate a property this day and age and just completely remove all the internet lines?
Well, basically they ripped out all of the phone lines, and just... I don't know exactly what they did that necessitated that, but they did it. They legally shouldn't have been able to, but they did. And we then had to go back and forth for the better part of 4 straight months to get them to install a damn phone line.
Just to get them to install the phone line.
Just to get an internet connection. Not even a good internet connection, an internet connection.
That is desperately awful. That is like that is legitimately the worst thing I have ever heard in my life.
I can actually, unfortunately, say it gets worse.
Oh my god, really? Really?
Yeah, because in this period of time, like, there's no way you can live in this modern day and age without an internet connection. Like, that's pretty much it. There are people who argue that an internet connection is a human right at this stage.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit like here in the United States. I don't remember when it happened, but I can guarantee there was a landmark event, quote-unquote, you could say, that occurred that caused this to come to pass, but there is like, the phone lines in America are regulated. They are straight up regulated, because...
Oh, ours are just owned monopoly style.
Well, no, I mean, there's actually laws...
That's why it takes so long.
There are federal laws on the books that say... Internet, like the telecommunication companies have to have those phones working no matter what. Even when the power goes out, the phone lines have to work. They're too critical to our societal infrastructure. So, like,
yeah.
And my dad used to work for AT&T. This is how I found out about all this stuff. They have, like, enormous generators built up all over the place. What are you doing, Lying? What are you doing?
I am fixing this power.
Power? What power?
I'm fixing the coal line, because this is going to bug me the longer it stays this way.
Look at this. How is coal supposed to get up to this furnace here? Look at where I am. On that line, how's the coal supposed to get to this furnace?
1 second. There. It's fine.
How's coal supposed to get on the line I'm standing on?
You're never happy, are you?
It's because you're fixing something that doesn't need to be fixed. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I can make it neat and tidy.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I can make it look better. Your legs work, but we're still after getting a car and trains. There.
That's not
nice and neat and tidy.
That is not an effective argument. That is not an effective argument.
But yeah, anyways, the way that the sitch got worse actually is twofold.
Okay.
Because for 4 months, we still need an access to an internet connection just to, at the very least, stay appraised of what's going on. Like, all of my money, for example, my income comes in through PayPal, so I have to have access to PayPal. So the solution that we had for this, and this is a 2-person flat, bear in mind, was we had one USB wireless internet dongle. And we had to ration it because it was on mobile data. One person at a time was able to connect very slowly to internet pages.
So the best you could really do...
For 4 months.
So the best you could really do in that scenario was basically just check email. And that was my...
Pretty much, I checked my email and I downloaded YouTube videos that I would just play on loop because there was no way I could stream them. They would just eat too much data.
Did you get some use out of a BBC subscription there, or?
Oh, we don't have a TV.
You don't have a TV. Wow. Wow.
Who has a television in 2017?
I have a TV.
Between YouTube, Netflix, and anything else, you kind of set.
Oh, I mean, if you say so, man. Whatever you say. Whatever you say.
But yeah. We finally, like 4 months down the line, we finally get this thing sorted. The phone line's in, we have a connection. Not a great one yet, but a connection. And I get a call from my landlord, threatening to rip out the connection.
Why?
Because it had to go through the wall. Naturally. So he is of the mind that I, like, should have cleared it with him and should have, like, made sure that it went through in the most unobtrusive fashion possible because he paid a lot of money to get that wall put in. And in the back of my mind, I'm just having to restrain myself from saying, remove it and I shall remove both of your arms. And then I shall construct, like, by the point at the end of this, I was threatening that if they didn't install the line the next time the engineer was out, I would murder said engineer and construct a human internet connection from his mortal coil.
That's,
I didn't say this on the phone line, naturally, but you know.
That's...
Like, we were utterly rabid by the end of the whole experience.
Well, I mean... It's a little bit like what's going on, what just happened here in America, which is that, like, there was a bill just recently passed here in America. I don't know how many of you watching are aware of it, and I'm sorry if you're upset that I'm getting political right here, but I'm gonna get fucking political. Deal with it. That's what I'm gonna say to everybody.
Is this deal or no deal on your internet history? Out of curiosity.
Yes, this is about the internet history. I'm positive that there's a fair number of people that don't know about this because it was just like nobody knew that this was a thing until it was already halfway through Congress.
Yeah, that seems to be the pattern right now, doesn't it?
So what happened was there's a bill that was introduced, and I shouldn't actually say bill because it's actually been signed into law. Trump signed it into law. Internet service providers are now allowed to take all of your internet browsing history and sell it if they see fit. So, just let that percolate for a minute, eh?
Like, at the very, like, even if that wasn't a massive breach of security, does that not qualify as slave labor because you're not getting paid for your internet security that you are generating?
I don't even know what to say about it. It's a sorry state. It's a sorry state.
It's a sorry set of about 40 states.
Oh, anyways,
and boy, do they feel sorry now.
I'm just very curious to see how it'll turn out in the end because now that it's happened, there are a lot of people who are like basically saying, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna start buying up congressmen's internet history, and we're gonna start selling it off. Because I don't think that the bill...
Who's the big name on that right now? Oh, right, it's Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, Cards Against Humanity decided to do it, but like... It's just hilarious to me, specifically because, it's obvious that this thing was voted in without a lot of people thinking, you know? There was not a lot of thought from the people who said, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, because it's like, this has actually brought up some interesting, history. Some interesting history regarding this type of stuff, and what information has to remain private, and what information...
You're packing those furnaces a little close, aren't you?
What?
How are you planning on getting power to them?
Oh, I've got my own system. Don't worry, I got this. It'll be a little bit more messy than you like, probably, but it works.
Probably.
I mean, this is definitely going to be more steel than we need, too. Now that I look at it, yeah, this is going to be way more steel than we need. So, it turns out that back in the 1980s, I believe, it was in the era of Blockbuster, okay? So,
oh, wow.
In the era of Blockbuster... Actually, you know what? You're right. It's a better idea to do it the way that you were doing it.
What was that? What was that sentence? Will, can you just say that into the microphone a bit more?
In the era of Blockbuster.
No, that's not the sentence I want you to say.
Oh, shut up. You shut up right now. I'm not even gonna... No, I'm not giving you that frickin' privilege.
Aww.
I'm supposed to make this work.
How many people are watching for actual Factorio, and then how much are watching just to see us drive each other around the bends?
I don't know. I mean, at this point, I know that there's a bunch of people who are screaming because it's like, just do what you need to do! Just do what you need to do! You know, because that's the way that people work.
Yeah. Oh my god, you're doing it in a suboptimal fashion!
Mm-hmm. People...
That old story.
You either watch people on YouTube because you want to, because you want to see them play the game, or you watch them because you want to hear them banter back and forth, and I'm not a banter type of guy. So,